Hey pretties, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Tanya and I film all kinds of pink, girly, beauty, fashion, and lifestyle videos on this channel. So if that's something you're into, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and push bell notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. I know you guys are waiting for that part 3 of my declutter slash makeup organization. I was going to do this in that series or in that video, but I decided that I have way too many palettes to include that in a video. This needs to be its own video because there's so many palettes. Today we're going to be going through my eyeshadow palette collection and we are going to be decluttering some. Now I'm just going to do a little disclaimer before we get started. This is more of a collection video because I know a lot of people get really mad if like influencers, YouTubers, beauty gurus, whatever you want to call us, if we don't go and like declutter half of our collection. People are like, this is not a declutter, this is a collection. Well, yeah, that's why I'm titling this a collection video slash declutter. I'm gonna be decluttering some palettes that just they've got to go. To be honest, I love my palette collection, so this is very hard for me to declutter too many of them, so we're just going to be going through them. I'm going to be showing you guys my palettes, talking a little bit about them. We have over 100 palettes here. I think I counted over 130 of them, so let's go ahead and get started and make sure you guys grab a drink. I'm actually going to go get a water here in just a second and we're going to go ahead and get started. It's going to be a long one, so again, grab a drink, grab a snack, sit tight. All right, let's go. I don't know how to even do this. I think we're going to start left to right and we're gonna go from there. Well, this is my left, which is your right, so right to left. Or should we do your left? Yeah, let's do your left to right, which is my right to left. That's confusing. Okay, whatever. Guys, surprisingly, I am not drinking coffee today. This is water. Because we gotta glow up, okay? We gotta stay hydrated. I grabbed the first little pile here. You guys can't even see it. I don't even think it's in the frame. Okay, this looks like a mixture of affordable palettes, so let's go. So first I have this Makeup Revolution palette. This is the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Elixir. It looks like this. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna declutter this one. If you're wondering, it does not smell like chocolate, but I don't reach for this. Do I like Makeup Revolution products? I do, but a lot of neutral shadows that are much better quality than this. Although this is a good palette, it's not my favorite palette, so we're gonna declutter this one. Wow, I didn't think we were gonna start off with a decluttered palette. So next we have the I Heart Revolution Coffee palette. And I did really enjoy this one. I was thinking about decluttering it, but this color story is so beautiful. You'll notice a pattern. I love these kinds of colors. I do have a lot of them in my collection. I'm going to declutter some that are similar, but not all, because I do like having my variety of like formulas to just use. And I do love the shimmers in this palette. They are so pigmented and beautiful, and oh my gosh, the roast one, like these are honestly so pretty. This palette is really nice. I'm more impressed with the shimmers in this palette than the mattes, but the mattes do a decent job, decent enough for me to actually reach for this palette, so I'm gonna be keeping that one. I have another I Heart Revolution palette. I haven't really gotten the chance to use this one yet, so I do want to keep it. We even still have the little film, and these colors are right up my alley. Like, these are my kind of colors. I love this little palette, and if this is as good quality as that other one, then I'm probably gonna like it, so we are gonna keep that one. The packaging is a little weird, it's a little hard to store, but it's so cute in the donut, like it's squishy. I just love that. Next I have an LA Girl palette that I have not gotten the chance to use either, so we are gonna keep this one. I did have 2 other ones, like the 2 other color stories, but I gave those away, so in a way I guess I already kind of decluttered from these LA Girl ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one because this was my favorite color story out of the 3, and these are warmer toned shadows as well. I have a lot of pinky shadows and a lot of warm shadows like this. You will notice a pattern. The next palette I have is this Colourpop Candy Castle palette. Here's what it looks like. It's so pretty and pastel. I think I've used this probably one time. I don't remember if I loved it or not, but I do want to keep this and make a mental note to use this. I think one of the reasons why I have not used this as much is because I don't want to mess it up because it's so pretty, but we got to test this out, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one. So another one that I am gonna keep is this I Love You So Brunch Profusion palette, and this is on the more affordable side, but this does have a very unique color story, and I did like these shadows I don't remember if I used this one for a video or not, but I do remember really liking this palette when I did use it. Actually, this glitter right here, it's so pretty. Another one that's very affordable that I always recommend everyone to get is this LA Girl Pro Mastery Eyeshadow Palette. This pink one is everything that I want and more. Like, look at this color story. That's all the colors that I like to wear. I mean, if you look at my eyeshadow today, these are colors I reach for a lot. I just love these like pinky maroon kind of colors. So this is such a great value for your money at the drugstore. It's so affordable, it's so big, the packaging is heavy and nice, and I just do really like this one. I do have my Colourpop Sweet Talk palette. I don't own that many Colourpop palettes. I only got into Colourpop last year. But I'm gonna keep this one because this is one that I really enjoyed using. I used it like 3 times so far, and I have loved it every single time. Another palette that I really like I'm saying, I'm not gonna declutter a lot of these, but another one that I really like is this Hawaii palette by BH Cosmetics. Again, with that color story, I do reach for this one quite a bit. I got this one not that long ago, but for getting it recently, I do reach for it a lot. I think I got this in like November, so really like that. This is another new palette that I will be keeping because I haven't gotten the chance to use it yet, but this has such an interesting color story. You guys will see what I mean. So the shadows look like this, and they're all marbled and just very pretty. I'm gonna swatch some of those marbled shadows for you guys just so you can see what they look like. They look like they're like these really pretty satiny shades. I'm going to keep this so I can get some use out of this, but this might be a declutter if I don't like it because I'm noticing there's no mattes in here, and I don't typically reach for an all shimmer palette. Who knows though, I might actually like this because I have been getting into very glowy eyeshadow looks lately, so I might like this if the shimmers or the, what are these even called, satiny colors, if they're not too glittery, then I will probably like it. I gotta test it out on the eyes. Another I Heart Revolution palette. I wanted to collect all of these. I think I actually found this one at Marshall's. Here is the color story to this one. It reminds me a lot of the Natasha Denona Love palette, but of course it is different than the Natasha Denona Love palette, but it just has a similar color story. Debating whether I want to declutter this one or not because I just have not reached for it, honestly. I have a lot of pinky maroon eyeshadow colors like this, so I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile. Far, we've decluttered one palette. I'm so bad at this. I love my palette. So starting out, I have this iconic London. This is like a pressed, not pressed, this is like a loose glitter palette. It gets very messy, but these are so freaking pretty that I cannot get rid of this. Time that I have a night out, I honestly reach for this palette, so I will not be getting rid of this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and get these out of the way because I am not decluttering any of these. These are my Pat McGrath palettes. We have the Divine Rose palette. I think this is the original Divine Rose palette, and these just tie with a little string. I do keep them in their boxes because I think this is pure art right here, this packaging. So here's what it actually looks like, and then this is the inside. These palettes are well loved. I love going into these quite often. I really do like the Pat McGrath formula. We have the Utopian palette. This is one of her latest palettes. This is the Utopian palette, and this is probably my second favorite palette from Pat McGrath. I think my first favorite is the Divine Rose 2, which I'm going to show you next, but these Pat McGrath palettes are everything. You could literally murder somebody with these. They are so heavy, it's like a brick. Finally, we have my Divine Rose 2 palette. This is the limited edition packaging. If you want this packaging, you'll have to get it off the Pat McGrath website. I'm gonna try to link all of these palettes down below. There's quite a bit of them, so there's gonna be a lot of links down below, but I will take the time to do that for you guys. This is the Divine Rose 2 palette. Very similar to Utopian, but it's very different at the same time. If you guys want to see a comparison between those two palettes, I can do a video on that because initially I was not going to get the Utopian just because I had this one, but I do not regret getting the Utopian palette, let me tell you that much. I love Pat McGrath. So two more that I will absolutely not be getting rid of are my two Natasha Denona palettes. These are new. I just got these around December. I think the last one I just got in the mail the other day, which is this one. I used both of these palettes on my eyes today. Love palette, which a lot of you guys are probably familiar with this. This has been around a while, but this is so beautiful. I use the color Intense in my crease and then the color Transparent on my eyelid. I did put a cream shadow on top of it, but I did use it on my eyelid. This is her newest hyped up palette. This is the Retro palette. Everybody and their mom talks about this palette at this time, and I can see why. This is so beautiful. I reach for this so much. Today I used the color Amara right here in the corner to deepen up the crease from this palette. So this is beautiful. The pinks in here are stunning. They're chef's kiss, especially those glitters that are in here. Chef's kiss. So pretty. I have the Too Faced Teddy Bear palette, and you guys all know what this looks like. Here you go. It's very tiny. This was $40, so it hurts my heart to do this, but I am decluttering this because this is just not a good palette. I'm so sorry. Like, Too Faced has great palettes. Palettes that are in the bins are amazing. The shimmers in this are really, really nice. It's just the mattes are so hard to blend. These pans, these little pans, they're so... You guys, life is testing my patience right now. My camera keeps doing weird stuff, but let's continue. We're talking about the Teddy Bear palette. Now, although these shimmers in here are so beautiful, I absolutely hate the mattes in here. These are just not very good mattes. I don't know, this palette is not one that I'm interested in. I don't reach for it. It's so cute. I wanted to love it. I paid so much money for this tiny little thing, just as much as I would pay for this big palette. I don't understand the price point of this palette. I don't understand the price point of their new butterfly one that's about this size. It's maybe a little bigger than this. I don't get it. I don't think it's worth your money. The shimmers, metallics, or whatever you want to call them in here are beautiful, but these mattes are not giving me much, and I don't reach for this at all. It hurts my heart to let this go. I love my Too Faced palettes, but this is just not one that did pretty much anything for me, because I want to keep it because it's so cute. I'm gonna let it go. My heart swing. Broken. Guys, I never buy a palette unless I really love it. So yeah, that's why I'm keeping a lot of my palettes. So next I have my Too Faced like fall time palettes. I do also have the cinnamon swirl one. It's somewhere in that pile, girl. So first is the gingerbread extra spicy palette. Need I say more? This color story is gorgeous. I'm definitely not getting rid of this. I told you guys in another video that I will never be getting rid of my Too Faced fall palettes. These are my favorite palettes that Too Faced comes out with. We have our pumpkin spice palette. Again, beautiful. I know the Too Faced palettes seem so similar, but they are absolutely not the same. I did a comparison video between those two and the cinnamon swirl palette, which I will link down below if you guys want to see the difference, or if you want to just go peek. I did swatches at the end of the video of like every single shadow that looked alike. I went in and dissected the palettes and swatched them, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and watch that video down below. It'll help you decide whether you need all of them or not. I have my Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals. I just picked this up. I just hauled this not long ago, so of course we will not be getting rid of this one. I promise you we are going to get to some palettes I'm going to declutter, but we are absolutely not getting rid of this. I just got this. I've used it only once, so I definitely want to get more use out of it, but I do like it so far. Next we have this Stila palette, and this is such a gorgeous palette. I got this at a TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls kind of a store, and I think this is such a steal. It was 20 bucks, I think. Oh my gosh, such a great find. Reach for this so much when I want a cool tone shadow look. These glitters, like, can we not with these? Like, just look how stunning those are. I am definitely keeping this. Like, so pretty. I know I have like a million swatches that you can't hardly tell which ones are which. Next we have my Ysl Clutch Palette. We are definitely not getting rid of this. I just got this around the holidays. I've used this about 3 times so far, and I love this. Anytime I want a glowy eyeshadow look, this is what I reach for. This is so good. We have my Bratz palettes, and although I don't reach for these that often, are just like nostalgic to me. I'm a big Bratz doll girl growing up, so I'm definitely keeping these for collection purpose. This is the Jade palette. We have the Yasmin palette, and I'm so sad I wasn't able to get the Sasha palette because it's sold out and they never restocked it, or at least I never caught it when it was restocked if they did. Then we have the Kkw palette. Out of all of them, I think this is my least favorite because I don't use blues that much, but it is still so pretty. We have another one that I just picked up. This is the Tarte Sweet Frosted palette. I just bought this during the Ulta sale, the 20% off, so I'm definitely keeping this. I'm not gonna lie, like this did a really pretty look, but I have so many of these colors that this was so unnecessary to buy, but I did just buy it, so I want to get some use out of that. So we have, this is a holy grail favorite palette. This is my Juvia's Place Warrior palette, and this is just a must-have. Like, I cannot not have this in my collection. This doubles as a highlighting palette. It's so good. I have also even used this shade as a bronzer. So this is just a really good travel palette. Anytime I'm going somewhere, I bring this palette with me. This is my second one. I hit pan and completely ruined another one already, so I just got this one again last year at some point. We have my Too Faced Natural Mattes palette. It looks like this. Sadly, I am gonna declutter this one because I just never reach for this anymore, and these mattes have like a hint of glitter in them, and I'm just not a big fan of that, so we are gonna go ahead and declutter this one. Next, we have my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette. I keep it in its box because it's pink and it's so pretty. The box is so beat up now though, but this is what the packaging looks like. As you guys know, this is one of my favorite rosy palettes. This is so beautiful, so pretty. I'm definitely not getting rid of this. I paid so much money for this and I do use it all the time. Next, we have my MAC Classic Cutie palette. I am going to declutter this one because I just don't reach for these purples. This is just not a palette I ever reach for. You can see it's basically brand new, and these shimmers, I don't know, they're okay. Like they're okay. Like they give something, but it's not, I don't know, it's like not really much. Like it looks okay on the fingers, so it's not really much. But it is very pretty. I have so many purples in my other palettes. There's purples in pretty much most of the pink palettes that I have. So this is just not one that I reach for, unfortunately. 4 palettes in my declutter. I'm hoping to at least declutter 10, okay? That's my goal. At least declutter 10 of them. So next I have my Breakfast in Bed by Beauty Bakery. And this is such a good palette. I really want to reach for this more often. I'm so sad because one of the shades is broken, so I can't show it to you correctly, but this is a beautiful color story. I am gonna, you know what, I'm gonna put this in my declutter pile just because that shadow broke, but I might fix it. If I fix it, we'll keep it, but knowing me, I will probably forget and never fix it. So I don't know. Clearly it's not one that I've missed that much because the shadow's been broken for a while, so that means I haven't reached for this in a while. So we're gonna put this in the declutter pile, even though I really don't want to declutter this. And next we have the Kylie Cosmetics You're So Money Baby palette. And I am going to declutter this one because these are so chunky and fall all over your eyes, but they're so pretty that I don't want to get rid of this, but I might. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. We might declutter this, we might not. I don't have very many greens in my collection, and this has greens in it, so I don't know, we'll see. If through the rest of these and I don't find greens, then we'll keep it. So next I have my Colourpop Truly Madly Deeply palette. This is my favorite Colourpop palette that I own. This is absolutely stunning, so of course I'm keeping that. Next we have my Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. Do you hear this? These shadows are not even glued in place. This is so old. I used to use this so much. You can definitely see how loved it is. It's time to let it go though. I've had it for such a long time. I never use this anymore. I only keep it for nostalgic purposes, and we don't need to be keeping stuff for that reason no more. So unless it's like a collectible, like the Bratz doll palettes, then we just don't need it. I can go buy a new Naked 3 palette, you know what I mean? We don't need that really gross old one. Next I have 2 Colourpop palettes I just got. I'm telling you guys, I just got into Colourpop not long ago, and I have tried both of these and I do like both of these. This is the Nude Mood palette, and this one is the Blush Crush palette. Look how stunning that is. And I almost want to declutter this because I have so many of these, but I literally just got this, so I do want to get some more use out of it. Next we have the Kylie and Baumann palette. I am not getting rid of this because look at this color story. I don't have, aside from that Colourpop palette, like this is the only, I think might be the only other pastel palette I have. I might have other ones, but who knows. But these are so stunning. These are not as chunky as the Baby So Money, You're So Money Baby palette. These are actually so stunning and not chunky, and they don't fall all over your eyes. So this is actually a better formula, I think, than that other one, and I'm so happy I got this before it got discontinued. We have the Too Faced Pretty Rich palette. I have loved this palette for so long. I repurchased it when I lost it, so I'm definitely keeping this. Two MAC palettes that I will forever keep because the packaging is insanely gorgeous, and these are also not available anymore, and they are so pretty. I think one's actually a face palette. So this is the eye palette. The shadows are good, they're not amazing, but I do reach for this, especially this yellow gold. This is like the prettiest yellow gold. This might be the only yellow gold that I own, because whenever I want a yellow gold, I go into this palette. So I'm definitely keeping this because I do still use and love this palette, even though I've had it for like 3 years now. This shouldn't even be in this declutter because this is a face palette, so we're just gonna move that aside. Next, I have the Jeffree Star Mini Breaker Palette. I don't use any of these, so we are going to declutter this. This looks brand new. I have another Jeffree Star palette I'm keeping that has these kinds of colors, so I'm going to set this aside and we're going to compare those colors when it comes down to it. I think that was everything for that pile. So we're getting to all of these small little palettes here, which I'm going to declutter a lot of these. Moving along, we have two of the MAC and Patrick Star palettes. I am going to declutter both of these because these are so old, like over 5 years old. I got this in 2017. Yeah, that's not gonna roll. I got this one also in 2017, I think. This was when Patrick Star was collaborating with MAC a lot, and I loved his collaborations with MAC. You can tell I use these palettes quite a bit. These are loved. So I did really like these, but I don't reach for them anymore, so we're gonna declutter those. I have this little Lancome palette. I got this at a Home Goods TJ Maxx place, and this is freaking beautiful. This was a holiday collection, but you see it and it's so beautiful when you look at it, and then I don't know, it just gives a whole lot of nothing. Like once you swatch it, let me show you guys. You swatch this, it's just literally nothing. Like there's nothing there. Like these are just nothing. So we're decluttering that. Okay, next I have my Riri and MAC collection. Guys, this is like 10 years old. This is disgusting. We're decluttering that. You guys want to know why I kept that Riri collection for so long? Because I remember the day that I purchased those, I was in my college upstairs on the computer pressing refresh on their super slow internet to get these, and somehow I was able to get some of the stuff from that collection before it sold out, because that was the time when just Rihanna and the MAC collections, they were just flying. I'm telling you, flying, like 30 seconds sold out. I don't know how that super slow college Wi-Fi allowed me to get these products. So I kept them for so long because I remember how stressed, and I nearly cried trying to buy those products. Like, who cries trying to buy a makeup palette? Like, me, that's who. I was really excited, apparently. I remember I had missed the previous Rihanna collection, and then this new collection they came out with was pink. I had to have it, absolutely had to have it. So yeah, that's why I kept it for so long, but no more of that. So next I have these two palettes. These are newer MAC palettes. This is the newest, I think the last Patrick Star and MAC collaboration, and these are some stunning cool tone purples. I don't think I have purples like this in my collection. I actually have only used this palette one time. This purple swatch is kind of patchy though. I don't know, I think I want to give this palette a chance. I think I do. I think I'm gonna keep it and give it a chance. This one is also not that old. This was from their Sakura collection, I believe. Not sure, but this is in the color, or in the name, Kabuki Doll. These are actually so good. Now these pans are so freaking tiny, like it's annoying, but these are actually really good shadows. I even kept the little slip that it comes with in here. I even kept that. I can't get it because of my nose, but these are actually really beautiful everyday colors, and this shimmer here, gorgeous. So I do still use that. So we have the Too Faced That's My Jam palette. This is another really pretty purpley palette. Now these are warmer purples. I'm going to show you a difference so that you can see. So we do have like a similar light purple here, but that's about it. Yeah, these are very different, so I am going to keep both. I do love a good purple shadow. Purples look really good on my brown eyes, so that's why I have so many purples. So next I have the Urban Decay Naked 3 Mini. Since we did declutter my big Naked 3 palette, I am going to keep this. Naked 3 was my favorite Naked palette, so I am going to keep this little small version of it. I take this a lot when I travel. This is such a good travel palette. So we get into my 2 Charlotte Tilbury quads. I want more of these. I love Charlotte Tilbury shadows, and I love her quads. I also use these a lot for a quick eye look. I've really been into the glowy looks. This one is the Luxury Palette of Pops, and this is so stunning. Next I have the Dreamgasm Palette, and this is also another go-to. I mean, these are just beautiful shadows. You can just tell how much I love this color right here. I'm just in love with these palettes. So next I have these Too Faced bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. I just got these. Guys, these are so good. Like, do not sleep on these. I reach for Cream and Sugar so much. Wait, no, that's not Cream and Sugar. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, Cream and Sugar. I reach for Cream and Sugar so much. This is the perfect little everyday quad, and I have these two. I thought about decluttering this more like maroony one, because I have so many of these shadows that I honestly don't reach for this maroon palette as much. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and declutter this one. I have this Colourpop quad, another really good everyday quad. Here's what it looks like. I'll swatch some of these shimmers. These are so stunning. I love this little quad. I use this whenever I'm just in a rush and need to like a quick one and done type of look. The way I decided we're getting rid of that I Heart Revolution pink and red palette. We're gonna get rid of it, the little chocolate one. Yeah. Okay, more small palettes, you guys. We have these 2 Ysl palettes. I don't need both of these. Actually going to declutter this one right here. This one is in I don't know. I don't know what the name is, but this one is the lighter one. It has like the shimmery shades in it. The mattes are great in these palettes. These shimmers, they leave something to be desired, so that's why I'm going to get rid of this one. And I am going to keep the all matte one because I do reach for this one way more than the other one. I have this Natasha Denona Quint. How I was introduced to Natasha Denona shadows. Although this only has 1 shimmer in it and the rest are mattes, this was still a palette that I reach for all of the time. This shimmer is just absolutely beautiful. Like, I've even used this as a highlight before. It's so pretty, so I'm definitely keeping this Natasha Denona Quint. Next I have my 2 Dior palettes. I'm not getting rid of either of these. I absolutely love this Dior formula of eyeshadows. I use these all the time. I've taken these with me to travel. I've used these on clients. These are amazing. Next I have 3 palettes that I will be decluttering. I bought these off AliExpress to do a video and I never ended up doing the video, and these shadows are, they're pretty dry. They're not the best. They do the job, don't get me wrong. They were very cheap, very inexpensive. This one is so beautiful. Like, look at those pinks. I have definitely used this one, you can definitely tell, but I don't really reach for them because I have other shadows, and these shimmers are okay. Like, if you blend too much, they kind of wither away, so I don't know, it's just not my favorite. Here's the darker one. These were okay. They're supposed to be dupes for the Huda Beauty, I don't even remember, like Nude Obsessions or something like that, and I wanted to get those to compare them. And the reason why I never did the video is because those shadows, those little mini Obsessions palettes, were sold out for the longest time. I think they have them now, but I mean, I don't know, do you guys even want to see that video anymore? I feel like those palettes are not even relevant anymore, so I don't even think I should do that video. But if you guys want to see them, I'll dig these out of my declutter pile, but for now these are decluttered. Next I have my Wet n Wild palettes. These are the My Cherry Amour and the In Love with the Cocoa palettes. I did do a video on these. If you guys are interested, I'll link it below. These are really good little $5 palettes. I was pretty impressed for the price. I am gonna keep these for videos because I do want to do videos where I do a full face with nothing over $5 and stuff like that. So I am gonna go ahead and keep these. Next I have the Too Faced Sugar Plum Fun palette, and it looks like this. This is a very cute plummy pink palette. I do have a lot of palettes like this, so I'm like debating keeping it. It's gonna go in a maybe. I don't reach for this that often. I don't know, I feel like the formula is kind of inconsistent in this palette, but it is really cute and I have used it and I did like the looks I created out of it. I'll go in the maybe pile. Too Faced Kitty Likes to Scratch. I am definitely keeping this one. This is one of my favorite small palettes. It has a black shadow in it, and for some reason a lot of palettes don't have a black shadow in them anymore, so I always go into this palette for that black shadow. I have 3 more Juvia's Place palettes. These are smaller palettes. I just got this one not long ago, so we're gonna keep this one. This is very neutral, very light. This is really good for an everyday look. And next we have this one. And now this one is just stunning. This is the Blushed Rose palette. I'm telling you guys, Juvia, these are just gorgeous. I can't. Those are just so beautiful. Definitely keeping. And then we have the Chocolates by Juvia's Place, and I love these kinds of palettes. I love that it has the richer, darker browns. I use this a lot on clients, as well as whenever I just want to deepen up a look or just add a little bit of depth. I always reach for that palette when I want like a dark brown but not black. Next I have these 2 new Foca Lure palettes. I have the Tokyo palette and the Sunrise Mini palette, and I'm definitely keeping these. I did enjoy using these. I love that these have a mirror, and yeah, I'm gonna try to get some more use out of these. These are just very pretty palettes. They're new, so I'm not getting rid of those. Stack I know is gonna hurt my soul because this is my Too Faced holiday palettes that I've collected for so many years. All right, let's just dive in. Let's dive in. So I have my little puppy palette, or what is this even called? I don't know. I call it the puppy palette because it has a little doggy. Yeah, we're not getting rid of that. I have this beautiful Tarte palette that I've kept because I love the packaging. And this is what it looks like. These are really beautiful. They leave something to be desired at times. It just depends on the look I'm going for because they are really beautiful and pigmented, and when I do use them I do like the palette, but I will not use this for, let's say, a night out when I want something that really shines. I won't reach for this, but I will reach for this for like a soft everyday look. So you know what, we're keeping that. It's still going. It's beautiful. Next we have these 2 Too Faced limited edition holiday palettes from 2019, I believe, and this one's like purples. This one is neutrals. This one's easy for me to declutter because I just will never use those colors. Like I will never grab that palette and be like, oh, I'm just gonna use this palette. I like purples, but I don't like that palette. Like I don't know, I feel like I also have purples like that in other palettes, so I don't need it. This one I did really love. This is the banana one. These do still smell really good, but we're gonna declutter it as well. So we have these Too Faced holiday palettes from this year. I'm not getting rid of any of this year's collections because I have not even used some of these and they're brand new and I still want to try them. So although the Too Faced holiday formula, it's not as good as like their tin packaging ones, like the cinnamon swirl, extra spicy, pumpkin spice palettes. Those are like top notch. These are good, not great, but I did get these all on sale, so like I don't mind because I didn't pay full price for them, and they do a really good, decent look. They do work. They do the job. You know what I mean? Like, they do the job. I'm keeping all the ones from this year. Here's another one. See? More pinky eyeshadows. Those are more like neutral pinks rather than like pink. We have this one. This one is a Christmas in Los Angeles. Next I have these right here, and these were from last year. And this one is, they're just so pretty. Like, I don't want to get rid of them. Like, I can't get rid of them. Like, they're so aesthetically pleasing to look at. Because realistically, we could get rid of these two because the ones from last year have like these exact colors. I feel like they're always similar. Let me just show you, like the pink one. I feel like we could definitely get rid of the pink one. You guys see that? Like they're just similar. Like they're not the same obviously, but they're just very, very similar. But yeah, we're not gonna get rid of them because you guys know I use these to decorate my vanity for Christmas. So we are keeping last year's and this year's. Anything beyond or anything before that, we're decluttering. Just so you guys know, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I did declutter like 4 other holiday palettes in the actual declutter series when I took them out of the top of my vanity. So just so you know, we have already decluttered some. So there's also this purple one, and this one's probably my favorite color story, so yeah, we're keeping that one. Then we have this one right here. What is this one called? I don't even know the names of these, but there's this one. No, I do like it. I love these pressed glitters. The pressed glitters are really pretty in this one. We have this little pink one with a fox. This is such a pretty color story, and look at that. Like, this is beautiful. They killed it with, I feel like last year's I really loved. Like that gold is like chef's kiss. We have this one, which this one honestly is not my favorite. I liked it but didn't love it. I don't know. I feel like we can declutter this one. Yeah, we're gonna declutter this one. Wow, I didn't think that was gonna happen, but it did. So I see another Too Faced holiday palette in here. I thought that was all of them, but apparently not. So I have 2 Marc Jacobs eyeshadow palettes. I got these, I think it was 1.5 years ago, and we have this really pretty smoky purple one. I love the Marc Jacobs formula, let me tell you. These are so good. And then we have this one right here, which has more like cool tone pinks. I feel like these are good smoky eyeshadow palettes. I reach for this when I want something more sexy, sultry, and so I do love these. I'm so sad that they have completely removed everything Marc Jacobs, because I loved Marc Jacobs. I know that they are reformulating or something, like they're coming back, but I'm sad. I'm sad that they're gone. I have this LA Girl holiday palette from this year. Run and get this if you can. I've been using this so much. This is such a good palette. Like, I love going into this palette. Really recommend. LA Girl shadows are just like, how? Like, how? They're so inexpensive and so good. Okay, I'm not decluttering any of my Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes. I only have 3. I'm not crazy. I don't have all the miniature ones. I wish I had all the miniature ones. I'm like so jelly when I see people's collections. They own like every single Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. I'm like, the Mercury Retrograde. I think all of you guys know how this looks. I did a tutorial of this when it came out. Have the new nude palette. I did a tutorial with 3 looks when this one came out. I love Huda Beauty palettes. Lastly, we have the new Rose Quartz palette, and oh my gosh, you guys, there will be video on this soon. Next, we have the Blood Sugar palette by Jeffree Star. I always almost declutter this and then I end up keeping it because look, but honestly, it might be time to say goodbye to this one. I think it's time to say goodbye to the Blood Sugar palette. I've used it so much, but I just don't reach for it anymore. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile as well. So we have this holiday palette. This is from this year. Again, this one was okay. It was good, not great. It was not my favorite, but it's from this year, so we're gonna keep it, see if I can get some more use out of it. If not, it will more than likely go in the next declutter. We have 2 Lime Crime palettes. These are so good. I have the Venus XL. This one's my favorite one out of the 2, and I'm pretty sure you can tell why. So pretty. I love that we get all the warm tones and the burgundy color, some of my favorite colors to wear. And then we have the Venus XL2, and this one is just such a unique color story. This does have greens. I wonder how these compare to the greens in the Money Baby palette. No, these greens are more like neon greens. These are more like muted pastel mossy looking greens. So yeah, we're keeping that. Next, I have the Jeffree Star Thirsty palette. This, I guess, I mean, it's not really green. It has like blues and corals. This is a really good summer palette, and I have loved this quite a bit. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep this one. Next, we have the Jawbreaker palette, and it looks like this. This has a bunch of colorful palettes. As you can see, I don't own very many colorful palettes, so I'm gonna keep this one because I really don't own any colorful palettes, you guys. I really don't have any colorful palettes. I'm more of a neutral girl, but sometimes I like to play in color, so we're gonna keep that one. I have the 35X palette. I don't feel like I even need to open this and show it to you because you guys have seen it so much lately, but we are gonna keep that one because I just got that one. I have the Bratz palette. This is the large palette. We are gonna keep this one because I love Bratz dolls, obviously. This is also another one of those colorful palettes. It kind of reminds me of the Jawbreaker palette. I'm gonna put them side by side. It even has the browns in there. Very similar color story. It's kind of interesting. Hey, if you guys want to see like a comparison of these two, let your girl know. Okay, next I have this Morphe Bronze Goals palette. I don't think they sell this anymore. Look how loved this is. It's so dirty. We're gonna go ahead and declutter this because I've had this for I think 4 years now and I don't reach for this anymore. As beautiful as this is, like this one hit pan, like that's how much I used it. This color right here, I don't normally hit pans on my shadows, so oh, so pretty. Next I have my Carly Bible and BH Cosmetics Deluxe Edition palette. This was also very well loved, but we are also going to declutter this one because I've had, this is probably the palette I've had for the longest time aside from the Naked 3 palette. I've had this since I lived in Dallas, so that was like 6 years ago. Well, I got it like, yeah, like 6 years ago. Time flies. How time flies. It's so pretty though. I remember how much I love these highlighters. This used to be one of my go-tos, but time to let it go. Next I have this iconic London palette. Looks like this. It's the Day to Slay eyeshadow palette. I do reach for this quite a lot. Iconic London has some really good shadows, so we're gonna go ahead and keep this one. This one is newer. We're almost done, you guys. We just have this stack to go and we will be done, but I need a water break. We have these little pearl palettes. These are from Yasmin's Glam Room. She is a small business on Instagram and I'm not decluttering these because she gifted these to me, and these hold a special place in my heart because I love supporting girl bosses and their small businesses. And these are really pretty and they're actually very pigmented, and the pressed glitters in these, so good. I have these 3 Sephora I Love palettes. They look like this. And I don't know that I'm gonna get rid of these because I just got them. I mean, and look, I keep them in the packaging because I like the little boxes that they come in, because I take them in and out of the boxes so much this little tab is starting to tear. I've used each one of these like once so far. These are really good, just little everyday palettes. Like they're not crazy, like they don't have super glam type of colors in them. They're just very basic and easy to use, and that's why I reach for them. The mattes are very blendable. They're very easy to work with, very easy to reach for on a daily basis. This one's like my least favorite one, so I guess we could get rid of this one. Nope, we're keeping it. I swatched those shimmers. I'm like, yep, we're keeping that. Shimmers are so pretty in these palettes. Then we have this one. This is the one I reach for the most, I think, like for an everyday eye look. We have my Too Faced Let's Play palette. This is the cutest palette. Every time I do a look with this, I love how it comes out, and we're definitely keeping this. This reminds me of my Animal Crossing days on Twitch. I really want to stream some more. I wish I had more time. My Amrezy ABH palette, Let's Get Real. I'm definitely not decluttering this. This is one of my favorite Anastasia palettes like ever. My Carly Bible palettes. I haven't reached for this one in a while. I could declutter this one, but I'm not going to because it's Carly Bible and I love Anastasia shadows. I have the Tartelette Juicy palette. You guys know I just got this one. I dropped it the other day and all the colors came out like magnetic, so you should be able to like take them out easily and put them back in. None of the shadows broke, but I put them back and they're probably not in the correct order, so yeah, if it looks different than yours, that's why. Next I have my Ysl Miss Glam palette. So Steph curated this herself for her brand and I'm definitely keeping this. I keep it with its bubble wrap and everything. I've only used this like one time because I don't want to like use it up, but Stephanie's one of my good friends and I really support her brand, and so yeah, that's why I'm never getting rid of that. So next I have this Cisa Alice in Wonderland palette. This palette is a truly a work of art. I've never actually used it. Like it even has the plastic on there. Like look at this packaging. I have not used it yet because I really want to use it for a video, but it's pink. It's so pretty. This is like everything that I want and more in a palette. It comes with a brush. I don't even want to mess up the shadows because of the pretty designs on this palette. Okay, next I have the Too Faced Pretty Mess palette. I am gonna declutter this one. This was probably the worst Too Faced palette I've ever used. The shadows, like the matte shadows, are so hard to blend. The dark shadows are so patchy. This is just not a good palette in my opinion. If you like this, maybe I just have very dry eyelids, okay, but I could not get this to blend without being patchy. So getting rid of this, I never use it for that reason. I kept it around because the shimmers and glitters in here, so gorgeous, but I'm like, one day I'm gonna reach for that glitter. I never reach for this glitter, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it finally. So we have Anastasia and KKW here. So guys, this is so beat up, it's embarrassing to even show you. This is the Soft Glam palette. I am gonna declutter this. I've hit pan on almost every single shadow, and honestly, yeah, we're gonna get rid of it. If I really want that palette again, because obviously I loved it, I can just buy it because I still have it. I also have the Modern Renaissance palette here, and I am gonna declutter this just for the simple fact that I don't reach for it. And I also have this Color Story redundantly in my collection. Like, I have these maroon colors like everywhere in my collection. I have so many of these colors. I'm gonna declutter that one. I'm actually doing better than I thought at the beginning. I was like, I'm not gonna declutter anything, I'm not. And now we have a basket full of palettes over here to my left side. So next we have my KKW palettes. I can already tell you I'm not decluttering these because these are some of my go-to palettes. I use these a lot on clients. I don't do makeup clients really anymore, so now I use them more on myself, but I really like these for just everyday colors. They're just really good, and until KKW comes out with some new stuff, girl, I'm not getting rid of these, okay? I'm so sorry you can't get these anymore, but these are some of the best smoky eye palettes that I own, and I really love these. This is such a gorgeous bridal, I think this was her bridal palette, but this is a beautiful bridal palette that I use so much. I used to use this a lot on weddings, but of course we don't really do clients anymore ever since I started school. But yeah, the thing is, I do still do clients. I just don't have my schedule fully open because I have school. So yeah, I kind of only book my loyal clients and like my repeat clients. I book them kind of like, you know, here and there. I have like 2 of them every month or so. So I thought I only had 3 Huda Beauty palettes, but I totally forgot about the Naughty palette. And it's not because it's not great, because this is amazing. But yeah, we're definitely keeping this. This is why I got rid of the Modern Renaissance palette, because I have palettes like this that I just reach for a lot more. Next I have this Alamar palette that I'm going to keep because I love this Color Story, and I don't own any Alamar palettes. And recently I've been watching a lot of makeup videos, and a lot of beauty girls here on YouTube love Alamar, and this has just been sitting in my collection. Like, I hardly use it, so I want to use this. I'm gonna put this on my top drawer so that I will use it. I've heard such great things about Alamar eyeshadows, so I'm excited. And it says best to use dry, best to use wet. So it basically, if it has a little like teardrop on it, it's best if you use it wet. That's pretty cool. Love that. Okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna get some use out of that palette. Now that I know that, you know, Alamar has really good shadows, I don't know why I hadn't digged into it. I think I got it in a BoxyCharm and I just like threw it in my drawer. Next I have my Too Faced Natural Love palette. A lot of people have opinions about this palette. I really like this palette. I don't reach for it too much anymore, except to reach in for this black color here. That black shadow is amazing, but I'm gonna keep it because I do still reach into it, and I don't have that many palettes that have a black in it. Next we have the Jeffree Star Orgy palette. I am keeping this one because it has every neutral you could ever ask for, and I know people have their opinions or whatever, but it's just a palette, guys. Like, it's just makeup. So I do use this, so I am gonna keep it. Although I feel like this entire middle row of this palette are repeat shades. Like, I don't really see a difference in any of these on the eyes. Like, they really come off so similar on the eyes. But either way, like, it's still a really good neutral palette. I do really reach for this. Next we have a newer palette. This is my Norvina Abh palette. This is a volume 4. And this palette makes me want to get all of the Norvina palettes. The palette looks beautiful online, but in person, sis, whole different story. It's so pretty. I swatched some of these. I've used this palette one time and I love it so far. This is just so pretty. Like, in person, this is so jaw-dropping. And these, like, these glitters, oh my goodness. I can't wait to get more use out of this. I think I literally got that palette in the mail 2 weeks ago, so I haven't gotten too much use out of it, but I'm excited to use it more. And the very last palette is the Jeffree Star Pink Religion palette. I know this got a lot of controversy online. Pink palette, and honestly, I don't take it. I mean, I don't know, like, it's a palette, you guys. I have not bought anything Jeffree Star in so long. This is the only thing I've purchased Jeffree Star for years now. I couldn't pass it up. It's a pink Bible, like, it's a pink Bible. I don't really have too many vibrant colors in my collection, like vibrant pinks like this. Most of the pinks I have are very nude and neutral. This is what I wanted to do, is compare this blood sugar one to the other one. I know the blood sugar has more neutrals in it, but I feel like it has like that coral that's in there, that fuchsia that's in there, that really make this palette unique. I feel like I have those colors in this palette. There's purple in this palette, there's coral, there's, yeah, I just don't think that I need the blood sugar palette anymore. And I know this was a cult favorite for a lot of people, but I'm decluttering it. And we are keeping only the Pink Religion palette. I give my 2 cents about this because I feel like I need to tell you my 2 cents about this. Like, I know a lot of people were mad because of his like advertising for this palette. Honestly, didn't see it that way. I guess I just don't really look at something and automatically think something bad about it. I'm just not the kind of person that looks at anything and thinks bad about it. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Like, I love pink. Pink is my religion, you know, but not in a serious way. Like, obviously I don't worship pink. Like, I believe in God, and I'm not necessarily religious, but I'm very spiritual, and I believe there is a God, and I believe in all of that. I grew up Christian Catholic, so I understand where people are offended, but I didn't think of it until I saw like other people say it. Does that make sense? It was after I bought the palette that I was like, okay, like, people are making a big fuzz because it's a pink Bible. But I don't know, you guys, like, I don't think of it that way. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's a pink Bible, it has pink eyeshadows in it, you know what I mean? Like, to me, this is just such a fun palette. I didn't think of it in a negative light like that. And I guess I'm just not the kind that really looks at things and really like tries to dissect the negative things about it, although I do understand where people are coming from, and I respect that, and I respect other people's opinion. That's just not how I saw it at all when I saw this palette. I was just excited for a pink palette, okay? So don't be mad at me. I promise you guys I'm not a horrible, terrible person because I like a pink palette that looks like a Bible. Like, I promise. Like, it's just a cute palette to me. Alright guys, so that was all of my palettes. Let's go ahead and take a look at everything we decluttered, and then I will let you guys go. Okay, so here are all of the palettes that I decluttered. There is about 29 of them, which is a lot better than I thought I was gonna do, so I'm super happy with this declutter, you guys. The overview, I love when people show like the overview of what they decluttered. I don't know, I think it's so satisfying. So here you go. Alright, my pretty girls and boys, that was everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my eyeshadow palette declutter. I hope that you guys got distracted for a little bit and saw some cute palettes. I have been obsessed with watching eyeshadow palette collections and declutters lately, so I thought I would film my very own because you guys know that's what I do. When I watch a video or videos that I really like, I tend to film them for my channel. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys leave me a comment down below. Let your girl know. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Thank you for being a part of my little family here on the internet, my little pretty family. I honestly just could not be more thankful to you guys for all the love and support recently. I just want to say thank you for always making me feel like I'm not alone, for always being there, for your kind DMs, your messages, your comments. Thank you guys so much for just making my dreams come true, because doing this as a job is my dream come true, and I don't think I can ever wrap my mind around the fact that this is what I do. Like, I can never wrap my mind around that, and I feel like, I don't know, I have like imposter syndrome. Like, I'm like, is this really my life? Like, is that really me? Like, who is that girl? But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye.